Good afternoon, good evening, hello, hi, welcome back. Please do smash the love heart for me if you can see this on Facebook. Please do smash the thumbs up if you are with me on YouTube. I know it takes a little bit of time for it to catch up and let me know who's watching, other than obviously the people that I can see commenting in the chat. So thank you for that. It is great to be back with you guys. How are you? How's everybody doing? Please let me know in the chat box if you haven't already where you are coming from. Please let me know how you have been. Are you well? Are things going okay in your neck of the woods? So we've got Arkansas, we've got Oregon, we've got Southwest France, we've got Arizona, we have got Denmark, I see, has just jumped on. We have got all over the blooming place, haven't we? That's amazing. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back. She's back. Ohio. Hiya, Chris. Hope you're well, my darling. Oh, Democratic Republic of Congo. Love that. Ireland, Scotland. Amazing. Michigan. Hey, Michigan. I hope you're well. Sacramento. Oh my gosh. I've got great memories from Sacramento. Thank you, because I'd completely forgotten about that. Thank you for bringing that back up into my consciousness. Florida. I've been talking a lot about Florida this last week. Do not be surprised if little Miss Davis lands on those shores soon enough. Hi from India. Good to see you. Kentucky, Michigan. Oh my God, we've got it all going on. For those of you on Facebook thinking, what on earth is she talking about? If you hop over to YouTube, you'll be able to see everything that I can see. What have we got here? Italy, Italia. Hello. You're going to be feeling some shifts in your neck of the woods, my love. South Africa. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. What a week. Can't even begin to comprehend. Like, I've got to speak about this on Conscious Conversations in a couple of hours, and I have no idea how I'm going to be able to do it, because I just can't get my head around what went on last week. And yes, whenever I'm in any of your necks of the woods, of course, I would love to meet up, and I will make it public when I go to Florida, because I'll go and stay with my good friend BT, and I will be catching up with lots of people there. So, absolutely, I will be in Florida, and I will make it public. Maybe not at first, whilst I do some stuff that I need to do, but I will definitely make it public so that we can catch up. And I would absolutely love, guys, genuinely, if you ever see me out and about, and a lot of people do, it's funny, I often get dragged into airports and other get dragged into conversations at airports and stuff. Lucy, hey, how are you? Glasgow Airport, it always happens. I don't know why, but it always does, without any shadow of a doubt. And yeah, people in Scotland are very friendly. It's as simple as that. So yes, it has been one heck of a wild week, ladies and gents. And how have things been going with you? It's just amazing. Life is just amazing right now, honestly. I have traveled 6 different countries in a week, 8 days to be precise. And I have created some shifts that are undeniable, I think it's fair to say. Now, I know people have little reactions and they talk about, oh, I know, you can't create this, or we're not supposed to be talking about that. No, at the end of the day, guys, the work that I do is around energy. So what I do is I go off and I realign energies, and I basically create shifts off the back of that. Now, sometimes that means it shows up for you in the sense of a government collapsing. If you remember when I was doing Eastern Europe in 2022, whilst I was away doing the work, we had Bojo quit. Okay, now people might sit there and say, oh yeah, but it's the government, it's this, it's that. I'm not aligned with the government. I never will be aligned with the government. I don't even know most of the time, but people message me and they're like, hey, this has happened. So, and this is about energetic shifts that take place, because what we're seeing right now is we have to be seeing everything for it to be able to collapse and for us to actually take a step forwards. Now, I'm going to do probably next Monday, or maybe even between now and then, I'm going to do a pretty triggering YouTube video around a few things that have come up into my consciousness in the last week. But today I want to talk all about intuition, because I actually think is a very, very, very important topic first and foremost. But I just think it's very aligned with what I've been doing over the last week. And in fact, what I've been doing since way before time. I've been doing it consciously since 2017. Like every single day, I have consciously made a decision where I need to go, what I need to do, and things like that. But before then, I'd been living on my intuition since 2014. Again, kind of subconsciously, and then before that, it was completely. I was totally asleep to it, but I was doing it. So that's why I decided that today. So let me know in the chat box while I talk about a couple of things that I just need to talk about. Let me know in the chat box if you believe your intuition plays a part in your life. First and foremost, do you use it? Are you scared of it? Do you wish to know how to use it more? Because these are the subjects I'm going to be covering off today. So I have to say that we did a channeling event on Friday, Emma and I did, and it was absolutely amazing. It was 777 portal, and just by the work of God, it ended up being on that day because it was the first time that I could actually sit down and do this stuff. So that event was absolutely incredible. Thank you to everybody that came. You asked phenomenal questions. It went on. Normally these events are about an hour and 15 minutes. We actually stayed on for 2 hours, talking and taking people through, what surfaces for them and how things look for them with the way that things stand at the moment. It was absolutely unbelievable. And honestly, guys, these events don't mean anything unless you turn up. And boy, did you turn up. It was absolutely amazing. Now, what's interesting is on Friday, it was the final piece of the first piece, if that makes any sense, of the mission that I'd been on. And we saw a massive peak in the Schumann resonance to reflect that. Obviously, we then did the event and then I went off on my own, and I have been on my own since then. But we have got the physical signs to show exactly what has been happening. Now, I've spoken about it before on previous videos, God knows which ones, but I have done. So I'm not going to go into that again because it's kind of rehashing old stuff. Now, a couple of things that I just want to bring into consciousness for you is this Thursday, the 13th of July, I've got a Healings Hang event. Now, what that basically means is you come along to an online session, and this one is focused on your heart. And basically, some of the gifts that I've been given, it's absolutely unbelievable. And I'll pop some stuff through my stories tomorrow. I haven't had time today. But basically, this will bring into wholeness any trauma and any hurt and any dis-ease that you have in your heart. And I've also been given a really beautiful activation. Now, if you go over to YouTube, I don't know how it appears on Facebook, but if you go over to YouTube, you will be able to literally click on a link there and be able to grab your ticket for that event if it sounds like something that you feel drawn to attend. Now, who do I think it would be beneficial for? Absolutely everybody. But in reality, if you have got commitment issues, if you've got heart issues, if you've got anything like that, maybe you are scared of getting in a new relationship or whatever, come along to this event and we will do some work on your heart and we will activate you so that you can be the absolute god or goddess that you were put on this planet to be during this time. That's Thursday. I think it's 7 till 9 p.m. UK time. Okay, the other thing, we have got major requests at the moment for my, oh, wow, that's amazing. So Jem's just put in the chat on YouTube, the healing hangs are amazing. I released something I didn't even know I had. Well, that's amazing. That's the first I've heard of it as well, Gemma. So I'm really pleased for you. The other thing is we're getting a lot of requests at the moment for one-to-ones with myself. So if you are looking for a one-to-one, I just want to manage expectations. I am not going to be doing any one-to-ones until September at the earliest, unless you are a regular client of mine, i.e. you've got your slots, you're on my program, something like that. Other than that, I cannot. Unfortunately, I have got myself into a bit of a situation where I am speaking on the phone with lawyers most days. So unfortunately, like I say, at the moment, it's better for me to focus on what I need to do so that I can actually progress with these things. I will share more about that when I can, but it is what it is. We're all going through our healing right now, and I'm definitely being asked to step up and speak my truth. So it's quite fascinating. But like I say, I will share more about that. Anyway, who believes their intuition is their superpower? On YouTube, please hit the thumbs up button if you are watching this video and you are happy with the content that you are getting. Now, I like to call intuition a number of different things. So I sometimes call it downloads. I sometimes call it callings. Sometimes I call it insights. And it's extremely important that whatever the language is that you use, you just know it's all the same thing pretty much. Now, I love the fact that some of you in the chat box let me just, my goodness, I've just hidden a comment and I didn't mean to do that. So on the chat, and what I can see, we have got, I'm not sure how to use my intuition. I wish I could use it more. Definitely does, and I'd be interested to know how to use it more. I'm aware of it, but don't always listen to it. I use it and it works for me. I use my intuition, but need to listen to it more. I use my intuition all the time. It's part of me. I love that. Yes, especially this year, I believe my intuition is spot on. And yes, I want to heighten it. 100% never lets me down. Yes, I use my intuition since I was a young teen, now in my mid-60s, never feared it and would love to learn more how to use it. Yes, definitely, and better off when I pay attention. Isn't that the truth, ladies and gents? Would love to heighten it. Yes, I do. I didn't understand my intuition when I was young, so I argued with myself a lot. 100% aware of it, try to use it, and would love to be able to use it more effectively. My intuition always tells me that will drain people that will drain me, and the people who I can trust, I would love to learn more though. The more I listen, the more I learn, the more I trust my intuition. It gets stronger. The more I use it, trust it. Aware of it, use it, always have done since a little child. Oh, that's that one. And then here we are back. So hard to discern intuition at times. All of the things that I'm going to talk to you, beautiful bunch, about this evening, or this afternoon, should I say. So this morning, I was actually going to do a very, very different subject. I was actually going to talk about the abuse that is taking place in the spiritual movement. Now, I'm going to come back to that video on a separate day, a separate time, a separate moment, probably because I'd be a bit feisty talking about that at the moment. But there is a lot of abuse taking place in the spiritual movement, and I was all set to do this. And then one of my girlfriends called me this morning, and I was having a conversation with her. And she was explaining to me that she needed hard evidence on something. And it guided me to come on and talk about this subject today. Ladies and gents, let me know in either of the chats on Facebook or on YouTube if you have gone, I just need evidence. Even though in your heart and in your soul, everything was telling you what you believed was the absolute truth. Let me know in the chat box. So basically, the only time you need to have hard evidence, like literal hard evidence, yes, I thought all you guys would get this, like, I need evidence. I need evidence to prove that my child took that biscuit, even though it's not there anymore. I need evidence to know that my partner is cheating on me or whatever. Like, this is about your inner dial, right? And this is not about allowing that filter of your trauma to be your inner dial. Okay, and this is what we're going to speak about a little bit today. So she was having this discussion, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is the subject I need to speak about today. Now, let's be really clear. Unless you are in a legal battle, you do not need hard evidence. Please, can we agree on this fact? The only time you need legal evidence, as in physical evidence, to prove is when you are in a legal battle, because no lawyer with any sense is going to take something on without 100% evidence to back up the case. Now, obviously, when people get arrested, there's situations whereby we don't know the evidence to support it or whatever, until obviously you go further. But if you are making a claim, if you are like doing something legally, you have to have hard evidence to back up everything that you state, okay? Fact. In life, we don't need that. You have to trust yourself. We were all given this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift of inspiration and intuition, okay? Now, this, you might be sat there thinking, what? Inspiration? That's what intuition is. Intuition is whispers to you, to your soul, and it comes in like a wave of inspiration. That is how we ignite the heart, we ignite the soul, and we get in alignment with our intuition. Now, there are many people out there that are like, I know he cheated, I know he cheated, I know he cheated. But actually, it's just your trauma because maybe you've cheated in the past, or maybe you've been cheated on in the past. So this is about the battle between your intuition and your ego. Let me know if this is making sense, guys. Your gut is going to let you know if something is not quite right, if you feel you need to be wary. Okay? Now, if you have even just an ounce of question around somebody or something or a place, in fact, let me take a backward step. I have been trusting my intuition since, like I say, 2017 as to exactly where I need to be and when, literally day by day, every single step of the way, 100%. Okay. Now, I see this as callings. I get called to a place and I go there, and it's 100% on intuition. And if any of you guys are in my conscious conversations, you know how wild it is. These journeys are absolutely off the scale with what comes in and what gets gifted during these, these journeys that I go on. That's what I'm talking about when I was connecting with my intuition, when I was connecting with the callings from my soul. Now, logically, I've been to some crazy places, right? I had an intuitive pull to go to Guatemala. As some of you have heard my story, I had an intuitive pull to go to Guatemala back in 2018. Now, it had been calling me since I went traveling in 2014, but I ignored it because I was genuinely scared. If I'm going to be honest with you, was it 2000? Yes, it was 2018. I was genuinely scared because I'd seen the drug dealing, I'd seen the gangs, I'd seen this, I'd seen that. And I had made up a story in my mind that I wasn't going to be okay if I went there. And the callings kept coming and coming and coming. So eventually, when I was more confident with my intuition, and when I was more confident with, Lucy, you're going to be safe, Lucy, you're protected, I actually ended up going there. And for those of you who have heard my Guatemala journey, it is somewhere on YouTube. And it's definitely in my book for those of you that obviously have my book. But it was such a wild journey. It was such a wild journey. Like, you couldn't make it up, from the reasons why I got there, to the person that ended up coming with me, to the situations that took place, to the lessons that I got, to the healing that I got, to the intuitive guidance that I got, to the answers to my questions. Like, honestly, ladies and gents, it was absolutely wild. And this was just literally something kept saying, go to Guatemala, come on. And I fought it for such a long period of time, But I also do trust that everything happens in divine timing. So if you have fought something, just know that it obviously wasn't meant to happen there. But at some point, you are going to have to surrender to it and go with it. So my gut was telling me, leading up to that Guatemala journey, that I wasn't going to be safe. So I truly believed it was my gut telling me, but it wasn't. It was my ego. What if you're not safe? What if something happens to you? What if all the worries or all of the truths that you've seen, or, the perceived truths, because it was on the bloody news at the end of the day, were true? And so actually, it wasn't my gut and my intuition saying that. My gut and my intuition was saying, come on, you've got to come. You've got to pick up these codes. You've got to start this journey. But my ego, my fear. I know a lot of people think I'm talking about egotistical. I'm not. I'm talking about the fear, the lower vibrational moments. My fear stopped me from going to Guatemala. As you guys know, like I just said a moment ago, as soon as I surrendered that fear, and I'm going to give you some examples of fear and listening to your intuition a little bit later on, once I surrendered that fear that I had, that ego, oh my God, you're not going to be safe. Oh my God, what if you get kidnapped? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, all of these situations. And I actually trusted and surrendered to my intuition. Obviously, that's when all of the gold took place. And it's a massive part, like I say, of my book. Now, like I say, intuition is not as loud as your ego mind. Let me know if this resonates with you. Your intuition is whispering. It's like, hello. And then all of a sudden, boom, you'll get something really West Side and you'll be like, where the heck did that come from? Like, you know, you need to go and train to be a health coach. That's what happened to me years ago. And I was like, what? I work on the trading floor. What on earth do I know about health? Why on earth can I help people with health and healing? And now look. Like, it's these little waves of inspiration. It's this little pull of your intuition to say, please go there, please do this. Your ego is extremely loud. You can't do that. You're going to end up in trouble. No, you know what happened last time you fell in love? You know what happened last time you went to a country like that? Oh yeah, just remember your luggage is going to get lost. Why would you go there? Keep safe, Lucy, keep safe. Your intuition is quiet. It's a little whisper. However, it is so much more concise, direct, and to the point. It will come like a little click of the fingers. It will come like a little bit of gold being sprinkled over you. There is no rhyme or reason as to why this takes place. There is absolutely no rhyme or reason. So this is why people say that women are more intuitive than men, because men like logic. And with intuition, logic goes out of the window. Is that fair to say? Now, Lizzie has put in the chat box, like Manchester, something was telling me that I shouldn't go. Then when it got cancelled, trains delay, I finally surrendered and went home. Lizzie wasn't meant to be there that weekend. Simple as that. And I know she wanted to be. I know she wanted to catch up with me first and foremost, because she told me that. And I know, you know, I was going off on a journey with my team. I know she didn't have her children that weekend, so she would have been able to have a nice weekend, and she would have been able, but the universe didn't want her there. Maybe there was something there that she wasn't ready to receive. Maybe there was something there that she wasn't yet ready to see. Maybe her train was going to have an accident if she'd got on it. Maybe. It's all of these things, you know, but that's because we try and apply logic to it. I have got the weekend to myself. Maybe what Lizzie needed to do was be at home and process certain things and actually allow herself to feel without her children being around, etc., etc. A lot of people, you know, often moan because they're running late, or moan because their plane gets cancelled or something like that. And you know, at the end of the day, this is always God protecting us. It's God protecting us from seeing, feeling, hearing something that we perhaps shouldn't be open to at that time. Maybe it was a test for us. Maybe it was like, there's so many different maybes and so many different situations. But like I was saying, intuition is not logical in the bloomin' slightest. It's just not, ladies and gents. So please do not expect it ever to be logical. And this is why so many people get confused, because it's like, well, if God wanted me to do that, he would just make it so bleeding obvious. God's whispers to you are through your intuition. We all have it. Like I say, it's not something that is just picked for the select few. I get hundreds of emails, hundreds of Instagram messages, Facebook messages, you name it, every single week saying, tell me how I can be as intuitive as you. You know, a couple of my friends and a few of the people that I work with, they say to me, Lucy, you are like, your intuition is more powerful than anybody else's I've known. Now, I don't know if that's true because it's quite a bold statement, but my intuition is freaking amazing. Amazing. When it comes down to people, to places, to friends, to watching people, like spiritual people online and things like that, my intuition is bang on point. The area of me and my growth this lifetime is around relationships, and my intuition around relationships. Now, sometimes, like we all do, we ignore our intuitive, no, don't do that. We ignore it. And that is because we obviously need to learn a lesson. So I want you guys to remember, if you ignore your intuition and then you go, oh my God, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to be the output. Okay, just don't make the same mistake again. Don't force things. It's only when we allow our ego to get involved and we force a situation that we end up in a predicament. Is that fair to say? Does this resonate with you? Let me know. So first and foremost, let's talk about a few tips to improve your intuition. Then I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to talk about trusting it, listening to it, things like that as well, guys, okay? So how can we improve our intuition, right? How can we do it? What can we do to help us? Now, the first thing that we can do to improve our intuition is to quieten the mind. Ladies and gents, we have got to quieten the mind. Now, how many of you, she says on YouTube, watching your phone, how many of you have constantly got your phone in your hands and you're constantly on it, flicking between things? And, you know, then you've got the children over there, you've got your partner over there, you've got to cook dinner, you've got to prepare lunch, you've got to do all of these things, you've got to work, you've got to go to the supermarket, you've got to do all of these things. So your mind is constantly going. And that's part of being a human being. That's part of the human experience. And I get that completely. However, there are moments where we do this rather than taking a moment to just sit and breathe. So the first way I would recommend quieting the mind is breathing. Doing some deep breath work exercise, ladies and gents. There are so many people here on YouTube that can help you with that. So please, please, please go and find these people. Yeah, we're all guilty of having our phone with us. But what we need to recognize, like I've always got my phone with me, you know, and there's so many things like, you know, when I'm on planes, like sometimes it's great to delete all the old crap out of my phone, like the pictures and stuff like that. But what I tend to do is sit there and just have those hours, however many, whether it's 1 to 24, have those hours to just sit and breathe and focus on me. So this is a top tip. At what point can you switch the radio off in your car? For example, I know you're still focusing on driving, but can you stop the alternative distractions? You know, can you just take 5 minutes to go and sit outside and just breathe and connect with, you know, connect with the air? Like, ask yourself, when can you get these pockets to quieten your mind? Obviously, another area is meditation. For me, I love meditating. I had a really amazing meditation earlier today, and a wolf came in and all of these really amazing things, and it linked up so much of what's been going, and it's actually really ignited a new path that I know that I've got to follow. So that's another thing that I would recommend. For those of you that don't know how to meditate, start with deep breathing, focus on your lungs, focus on your breath, literally going in and out, and then just allow yourself to surrender from there. Another great way to quieten the mind, and this should be a whole topic in itself, ladies and gents, is journaling. Oh my gosh, journaling really does quieten the mind. Now, you guys have heard, I have had the piss ripped out of me so many times for the amount of journaling I do. I journal every morning, I journal every evening, and then if I need to journal in between, trust me, I do journaling. And the reason is, if you have got anything going on in your head, and trust me, I've got a lot going on in mine at the moment, it frees up the space to allow your intuitive pulls, your callings to take place. So what I would do is I would start writing stuff down. People always say to me, yeah, but Lucy, how do you journal? I wake up in the morning and I ask myself, right, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I had a really good night's rest. I had some crazy dreams. I have woken up, you know, twice in the night or whatever like that. So, you know, I actually allow myself to empty everything that's been in my mind from the start of day so that I can allow the wisdom to come through from God. I would also recommend that you write down or keep a journal of your intuitive pulls. So within my diary, yes, I'm old-fashioned, I've got a physical diary because of this reason. So I have a journal for my journaling, and in my diary, I put down whenever I get intuitive pulls. So, for example, let's say today my intuition was like, Lucy, you've got to go to Greece. I've just noticed on this crystal there's a heart. That's really quite weird. I've never seen that before. Sorry, that really distracted me. I was like, wow, that needed my attention. So let's say today, oh, Lucy, you've got to go to Corfu in Greece as just a thing. Right, in today's date, in my diary, I would put down Corfu, Greece, and then anything else that came down with it. Again, this is something for you. Write down any guidance that you get. So maybe you keep seeing 222. Everybody messages me when they get 222. It's wild. Maybe you keep seeing a blackbird. Maybe you keep seeing signs for Sydney, Australia. Again, if you've read, I don't know if it was in that book, actually. I'm not sure if it was in that book, but basically a part of my journey has been when I was in Perth one time, basically every single, I've been to Perth many, many times, and every single place I went to, there were signs for Sydney, and I ended up surrendering to it and going to Sydney, and it was a wild, wild, wild journey. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying look for guidance. Look for synchronicities and serendipities. Okay, look for those, allow them to guide you. Okay, it's very, very, very important. A lot of us take things for granted. We really, really do take things for granted. Why? Because, we're busy in life. We're distracted. We're going from here to there and we can't possibly pay attention. So I've had 2 people recently spend some time with me. There's been more over the years, but I've had 2 people spend some time with me recently. And both of them one of them was spent about 2 weeks with me and the other one spent a week with me. And they both just said, oh my God, you notice everything, Lucy. And I said to them, well, that's my job, first and foremost. But then I actually stopped and thought about it. And I was like, I guess it is a bit weird. I look at absolutely everything as a sign, everything. I'm talking about a glass of water falling over. Oh, right. What's that distracted me from? Or why is that making me stop and clear that up? I literally trust everything. And I'm like, okay, what does this mean? So where I was yesterday was really amazing. And basically I asked for a sign if the work was done. Now I know that my granddad communicates with me in a particular way. There's a few different ways, the falls, a blackbird, and a couple of other things. And as soon as I asked that, within about 30 seconds, I had about 5 to 10 different signs that my granddad was like, yeah, you're good, girl. You're good. You've done what you need to do. You're good. Everything's working in the exact way. I trust myself that much. I know what I am capable of doing. And this is why I absolutely love this journey that I'm on, and I can disappear off. And when you guys find out where I went this trip, you're going to be like, what the absolute bleep? Because it has been such an off the cuff journey, and it's something that I've been channeling, like I say, for a very, very, very long time. And it was just divine timing to go now. Even though it wasn't divine timing to go now, logically, in my ego, in my logical mind, it wasn't sensible for me to be going at this time. But you know what? The universe wanted me to go at this time, which is why I did. So you need to start asking for signs. You need to start asking and paying attention, because it's not just me that gets all of the signs. And then you need to recognize that if the sign doesn't happen, that's your ego. And if you say, I want it by 6 o'clock, if it happens 10 past 6, you didn't get the sign during the people of time. You didn't get the sign in the period of time. So that's it. It's done. You have to be specific. You have to ask for exact things so that you can bring this in. And people will go, oh yeah, but it happened. I just didn't. No. This is about you. We must remember to be grateful and appreciative of absolutely everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, when we don't get our own way, i.e. ego, our ego pipes up. Oh, this isn't fair. Why did that not happen? How come I haven't seen it? Why are her signs and synchronicities better than mine? All of that kind of stuff. Unless you can be like, okay, great, thank you. That obviously wasn't meant for me. So what is meant for me? Please do show me. Please do give me, and like I said to this lady this morning that called me and said this, my friend that called me, I just said, why don't you just throw it out to the universe and ask for evidence? Ask for evidence. If you really need hard evidence, throw it out to the universe and ask for it. But trust me, if it was me and the circumstance she was in, I wouldn't be having that conversation. I would trust my intuition implicitly, because this is a test of whether we're using our gifts or not. Now, if you question your gifts, you know what happens. We get burned. But, I can speak about this 1,000,000% authentically. If you don't listen to your intuition, you are going to continue to get burned until you go, whoa, okay, enough's enough. How many of you have ever been in a situation whereby maybe somebody owes you money, or maybe it's a relationship or something like that, and you're like, oh yeah, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I trust them and they're going to come through. And then you go, why did I not trust myself initially that it wasn't going to happen? Why have I put myself through the last 6 months of being in a relationship that I should have got out of a year ago or whatever? How many? I mean, I've been there. I've done that. So it's so important that we start to recognize it. God does not want to hurt you. It's just you're not bloody listening, ladies and gents. Trust me on that one, okay? And like I say, I am very, very open. I'm not just pointing the finger at you guys. I'm pointing the finger at myself too. I have literally held on and held on and held on for reasons that were ridiculous and all around ego to so many things. My career, relationships, because I wanted to save face. I didn't want to have that discussion, yada, yada, yada. I've clung on so dearly that I ended up getting burnt. And that's what God does. That is what God does. God will, unfortunately, bring pain to us because we don't blooming well listen. So my advice is listen from the get-go. Just check that it's not your ego mind that is doing that, okay? Another way to help improve your intuition is spending time in nature. Now, I'm a massive fan of this, as you guys know, massive, massive fan. I spend as much time as I possibly can in nature. And what you need to do when you are in nature, it is very much around observing the rhythms and the frequency of nature. It's that. Okay, it is very, very, very important that you acknowledge that. Yes, exactly, Dee. I love what you've put there. Emotions take over reasoning. Yes, they do, because I don't want to have that discussion. I don't want to break the kid's heart. I don't want to have tell my family that I don't want to get married. It's all of these things that we have to go through because we are so emotionally invested. And so we keep making the same mistake, even though we're not happy, even though we know damn well that this person or this thing or whatever it is, this career is not the thing for us. I knew when I look back, I basically was forced into a situation in, oh my gosh, I'm not sure. I had been in JP Morgan for about 18 months at the time that basically my role got put in what they call at risk. And I forced myself to find another job within JP Morgan. And honestly, I know that I should have got out at that point. I should have got more into alignment with what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people. And here I was working for somebody that did not align with my values, not in the blooming slightest, ladies and gents. So why did I hang on? Because of ego, because of the money. That's why I did it. So I then got burnt badly by me burning out, losing my health. And don't get me wrong, it's been an absolutely incredible story that I've been on, but I could have saved myself a whole heap of hassle by, not taking the drugs and all the rest of it, all those things that I did because I was in an environment that I was so unhappy. So do get out into nature, observe the rhythms and frequency of everything that you are doing. The other way to enhance your intuition is pay attention to your dreams. Ladies and gents, they are literally showing you insights in your life. I cannot say to you, your dreams are your literal Bible. Now you'll be like, oh my God, last night I had a really bad nightmare. No. Just know that your dreams are giving you insights into your life. And you need to know how to trust that and how to feel that so that you can enhance your intuition. Now, like I say, a way to enhance that even more is to journal your dreams. So the first thing I do when I wake up, it doesn't matter whether I'm in my own home, or it's the middle of the night or whatever. If I have a dream, I will wake up and write it down, because ladies and gents, when you wake up and you go, I must remember, you go back to sleep and you forget about it. So write it in your dream journal. The first thing you should do when you wake up in the morning is stay laying for just a few seconds. So anything that has gone on that night, whether you've astral traveled or whether you've dreamt, they will stay immersed in your physical body. So maybe this is a message for you. Don't move. Don't move. When you wake up, just lay there and allow it to just sink within you. This is a top tip that I've figured out over the years. If I lay still and I don't grab my journal and I just don't run off to the toilet or whatever, I know that is how I am going to keep my dreams inside of me. Now, the signs and signals from your dreams will actually become your reality. They will become your reality. It's absolutely amazing. Now, the last thing to help boost your intuition is to trust it, ladies and gents. It's to recognize when your ego is being naughty and saying, oh no, that's in your head, or no, don't trust that gut reaction. Oh no, don't do this, don't do that. You've got to trust it, ladies and gents. Then act on it. So if you have an intuitive pull that you need to go for a walk in the forest, go for a walk in the forest, because trust me, there will be a message for you, or there will be something that happens there that is going to help you boost your intuitive nature. Now, like I say, I've been doing this consciously every single day since 2017, probably even before that, but I quit investment banking in 2017. So I know that since then I've been like, I need to go to Dubai and I need to jump out of a plane. And it's like, why on earth would I need to go and do that? I need to go to Brazil. I channeled, I got a calling to go to Brazil. I'll never forget it. I was walking through Kingston upon Thames in Surrey, and I was literally like, I've got to go to Brazil. And it was bizarre how it came through. And I just kept being shown, I channeled that I had to go to see someone in a white outfit. It was very weird. And then within a couple of months, I had the absolute exact guidance as to where I needed to go to Brazil. And this was, so I booked a ticket to fly to Rio de Janeiro, but I just didn't know where I was going or what I was doing. And this is the way that I've lived my life every day since 2017. If something calls me, I might not do it immediately, because maybe I've got seminars, maybe I'm speaking somewhere, and as I'm saying this, I've got 111 and 11 on Facebook. So there you go, ladies and gents. That was really weird. It was like I just looked up and all the ones were there. So basically, how funny, 44 likes on YouTube as well. Come on, guys, we can put more thumbs up on YouTube, please, and on Facebook, and on, that's all we're doing. I was going to say Instagram, but we're not on there, are we? So people who know me closely know that it's the only way that I live. It's the only way I live. I sometimes battle it. I sometimes hold on longer than I should have done. I've been saying to my team in the last week, I was like, I wish I'd just gone on and cracked on and done this earlier. I don't know why I got in my head about it, but obviously this was the divine timing to go. Otherwise I would have gone before. Ladies and gents, you're not always going to trust your intuition, and you're not always going to listen to it. Now, like I said earlier, I tend to not listen around people, because this is my area of growth. So I often will be like, I'm going to trust this person, even though I'm kind of like guided that maybe they're a little bit of a wide boy, or a little bit of this or a little bit of that. And this is my area of growth. And this is why sometimes I have to go through the things that I do. And I own that. However, I have made a commitment to myself as of, a couple of months ago, that I am going to trust my intuition implicitly from here. And I'm not going to trust some of the visions that I get in my meditations and stuff. I'm going to trust my intuitive, the feeling that I've got in my physical vessel, because sometimes our guides lead us astray because they need us to learn lessons. They need us to go through a healing journey. Now, so what I've kind of done is I've gone, okay, I'm going to trust my intuition. I'm going to put my hand on my heart and I'm going to trust my intuition. Any of the messages that I get, although I trust them deeply, I'm just going to hold them at arm's length until I've really got the intuitive guidance from my heart. I will never force anything ever again in my life. I am trusting that if I'm attached to something, it is because it was, it's an unhealthy attachment. I'm looking at all attachments as unhealthy attachments at the moment. I'm allowing the flow in my life to be very, very, very free flowing, because when we force things, we tend to get burnt, like I said earlier. So the only way to gain access to our intuition is by calming our vessel. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean eating the right foods, removing stress from your life so that your nervous system is relaxed, so that you can intentionally connect to your intuition. This way, it means you're going to get provided with clarity. You know, you can connect with clarity rather than anxiety, which will want you to be stuck in this loop of, well, what about this? What about that? Asking lots of questions and almost creating the drama within yourself. Let me know in the chat if this is making sense, ladies and gents. You're not always going to trust it. And when you don't trust it and you go, God, I knew that was going to happen. You know, I've explained the story before. I drove to my ex-partner's house a few years ago now. And all the way there, I was like, I don't know why I get this feeling I'm going to get a flat tire. I get this feeling I'm going to get a flat tire. And so I drove really carefully because I didn't want a tire to pop out on the motorway. Anyway, I got there. Literally, as I pulled into his, my tire just went flat. And I was like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. That's your intuition. That is your guidance. That's your inner dial telling you. So luckily for me, he used to be a mechanic before he changed his job. And basically, he had all the equipment to just get it pumped back up nicely for me, bless his little heart. So like I say, that was a few years ago. But that was anxiety. Anxiety was like, oh, no, it can't possibly be. It can't possibly be. Whereas if I had just used it, I could have just called him and been like, hey, I feel like I'm going to get a flat tire. Like, can you just get ready for me for when I arrive or whatever? Or should I go and check just ask him advice? He was a mechanic at the end of the day. I'm not that great with cars. Yes, I can blow my tires up. Yes, I can put oil in the car. Yes, I can check the levels of oil and I can fill up like my waters and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm a girl. I don't know much about cars. And I don't mean that derogatory to women that do know lots about cars. I'm just not one of those girls. Okay. So like I was saying, if you can calm your nervous system and you can calm your physical vessel, you can intentionally connect to your intuition, which will give you clarity. It will give you clarity. When you sit in the anxiety of, yeah, but what if, and yeah, but what if, and yeah, but what if, you will just be in this little loop over and over and over. So Pina has put, every time I ignored my intuition, the shit hit the fan every time. Trust me too, babe. So there is absolutely no judgment here. And, you know, I should know better. Like, I should know better. I know that I have been given this gift of intuition to really, really ignite you guys and remind you guys. And I still bloody ignore it. So do not judge yourself, my friend. We're in this together. We're on this healing journey together. Yes, just learned that lesson at the beginning of the year and not no more. Good for you, Ingrid. I'm not going through it anymore either. So we're in it together, my darling. So I want to give you a couple of examples that might be able to guide you as to how fear works against intuition. So first and foremost, let's say that you've got something that you need to do. Fear says, I must get this done as quickly as possible. Quick, we've got to do it. Like, why is there this block? Why is this stopping it? Why can I not move forwards? Why can't I get hold of that person? Intuition says, this is a necessary experience. All is going to happen in divine timing. You cannot rush God's plan. Let me know if that resonates with you, of how your intuition shows up. Another example, logic seems to have left the building for this decision. That's what fear would say. I can't reason why this would happen. Why is there no logical reason? Like, logic has left. What on earth is going on here? Your intuition would say, logic is not necessary right now. Your feeling is enough. Trust it. And this is exactly the conversation I was having with my friend this morning. Why do you need hard evidence? Why do you need logic when you feel it in your heart and your soul? Yeah, but Lucy, no buts. Your inner dial is coming online. You know when you are being lied to. You know when you have been had. You know when your partner has cheated. You know the outcome of it all. It's just we want evidence. We want proof. Show us. That's ego. That is how this absolute farce that we've been living in for the last however many lifetimes has been keeping us in this bloody loop. Now we are here to change this lifetime, starting now. The last example that I want to give you guys. Fear says, oh my God, I'm so disconnected. Oh my God, I can't get connected to my gifts. Oh my God, like it's just not making any sense to me. It just doesn't make, just to help. Your intuition will say, you're being guided. Give up your control for the greater good. That's what we need to be doing, ladies and gents. We need to be trusting our intuition. Yes, I've often said happiness is an inside job. Happiness is the only thing that we need to choose on a day-to-day basis. I've actually done a little reel on it, but I haven't posted it yet. Maybe I'll pop that on TikTok tomorrow. Guys, if you want to follow me on social media, please do head over to the description field and you'll be able to get all of my social medias where I post loads of different stuff all day, every day. I do lives on Instagram. I post stuff from time to time on Facebook, not that regularly, but I post stuff in my Self-Love Club with Lucy Davis group on Facebook, and I'm on TikTok. I'm actually quite enjoying TikTok. I always said that I'd never go on there, but I'm quite enjoying it because I get to create lovely reels or whatever they call them on there. So what we need to be recognizing, ladies and gents, and I love the fact that Dee has brought discernment in. So what we need to be recognizing right now is that our discernment is being tested to the max. Now, I feel that intuition and discernment are two of the same but different, okay? Your intuition is just these little inner guidance. Your discernment is, right, am I going to listen to this or am I not going to listen to this? Now, a lot of people have been coming to me recently about things like the Sound of Freedom movie and certain people in the spiritual movement. And as you saw, I can't remember if it was Monday's live or, Monday's video or last Thursday's video, but it was a pretty, we were talking about predation, sexual predation within the spiritual movement. Well, not just the spiritual movement, but just the movements, I guess. This is, again, this is people's intuition kicking in, and then it's the discernment whether they still turn up to those events. It's the discernment whether they go there, and it's whether they listen to the intuition. So for me personally, as much as they are two of the same thing, Dee, I think that they have a slight difference in the sense that your intuition is there to be the whispers for you, and then your discernment is actually whether you follow it through or not, and the way that you deal with it. Okay, I know there are a lot of people out there that are showing their true colors at the moment, and people are just not prepared, not willing to see it for what it is. Why are they not willing to see it for what it is? Because they've invested a heck of a lot of time being close to that person. Maybe they've even paid money for that person. You have to trust your inner dial. You have to, and when you go, oh my gosh, in fact, I'm going to give an example, and I don't normally give examples when it comes to people, but I did quite a lot of work with Tony Robbins back in the day when I was coming out of banking, and I was stepping into into working for myself. I did some work with Tony Robbins. Now, I thought he was amazing, and I'm still very grateful to him for this day. I just don't resonate with him anymore. I don't. So my discernment says, don't go there. So you know what, ladies and gents? I'm not going to go there. It's as simple as that. I don't want to be there. That's not me putting him down, by the way. That's not me slagging off his work. He's done some amazing things and all the rest of it. But for me, that's my discernment saying, no, you don't need to go there anymore. Now, if you have a feeling, if you've signed up for an event and you're like, oh, I really shouldn't be going. In fact, one of my girlfriends, a different friend today, actually, she's got a trip planned soon and she really doesn't want to go. And I'm just like, everything in her body is telling her not to go. Everything in her body. but now it's whether she's going to listen to her intuition, listen to her discernment. So, you know, again, like we can all tell people, oh, babe, you know, if this is what it's telling you, you shouldn't be going, but it's down to them. It's down to their journey. Obviously, there's lessons to be learned. Obviously, there are things, you know, and you've got to ask yourself the question, is it my ego that is stopping me going? Is it because I don't want to travel? Is it because it's an inconvenience? Is it because all of these things are of a lower vibration? Okay, very, 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 very important. Now, like I said at the beginning, to end up here, every single one of you are intuitive. I do not believe that anybody on the planet right now with a soul doesn't have intuition. Okay, I truly, truly, truly believe that every single person has intuition. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Like I say, I've heard so many women particularly saying, no, women are so much more intuitive. And please don't get me wrong. Like I see it in a lot of women. They are extremely intuitive, but I also believe that men are as well. I have some amazing men around me that are completely balanced in their masculine and their feminine, and they are extremely intuitive, you know, and it blows me away how incredible these people are. So I think it's extremely important that we trust this, that we actually start recognizing and feeling into the fact that everybody has this, and helping each other to get aligned to it, help each other tap into it. We're not at a battle, guys. I posted a picture on my Facebook account, actually, you know, just celebrating the fact that I'd finished the energy work that I'd been doing. And somebody posted a comment about, like, basically projecting something on the picture. And, you know, guys, we're all on the same team. We're all on the same team. Just because we've made different decisions in our life and we're making different choices doesn't mean that we're not on the same team. It doesn't mean that it's not them against us. And we need to remember that. Now, sometimes my intuition will be like, no, don't respond. But I had to respond on that occasion. And this is the thing. Sometimes I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to let people think what they want to think, because the truth will always come out. I'm sitting and watching a lot of people at the moment starting to realize and recognize things that I've known for a very long time. And that's not me, I'm better than you. No, not at all. I'm just not that person that will go out there and finger point. I'm just not that person that will name drop or, you know, throw people under the bus. It's just not my style. I always think that everybody will get the memos as and when they need to get the memos for themselves. Now, if I thought somebody was going to get hurt, or if there was going to be some money taken, or if there was, you know, somebody was literally going to have a situation, of course I'd tell them. But I do it in a private situation, not a public setting. That's just the way that I work personally. And I know that the truth is going to come out. There's no way that the truth can't come out. And you know, when I talk about this, people think about political stuff. I'm not interested in politics or any of that bullshit. Like all of that needs to go. So, and it will go. So for me, that's not my bag. My bag is the likes of me and you. Whatever you have been hiding, whatever you've been lying about, whatever you've been deceiving about or deceitful about, trust me, the truth will come out, and it will slap you so hard round the face, like I was saying earlier, because you haven't trusted the intuitive pulls to say, hey, have you really paid attention? Hey, are you using your discernment here? And this is why, like I said earlier, we end up getting burnt. Ladies and gents, it is bloody amazing to be back with you. I hope that this has helped somewhat. I'm going to go now to get ready for my conscious conversations, because I've got no freaking idea how I'm actually going to speak about these things tonight. I'm going to be sharing for the first time where I have been in the last week and what's been going on and the kind of shifts that have been taking place around the world. We've seen flooding, we've seen governments collapsing, we've seen, you name it, everything, the Schumann resonance going crazy. We've seen it all going on, and it is all because of the energetic shifts that are taking place. Ladies and gents, I absolutely love being back with you live. I do prefer a live, I've got to be honest. It's because we get to chat a little bit. And so maybe next week I'll do this discussion around, you know, the abuse in the spiritual movement, and the falsities that have been going on. And also I maybe will have a little time to do a little bit of Q&A. Do remember, ladies and gents, the healing event is on Thursday. I'm going to do a video on healing over the next few days, because for some bizarre reason, I don't know why, my gifts have come much more online in the last week. I've been doing some healing work on a couple of people, and it has shifted them completely. So I'm going to do a little video on that as well. Ladies and gents, like I say, I hope this was useful for you, and I hope to see you next week right here, same time, same place, and I'll catch you guys soon. If there is anything, if there's ever a topic that you want me to speak about, I will pop a post on the community pages of YouTube and go there and let me know, and I will look to do a discussion on that at some point. All right, guys, I love you to the moon and stars. I will see you next week.